2025 had more roguelikes than anyone could reasonably track. This list skips the obvious names and focuses on 10 games with sharp hooks, fast run pressure, or one strange idea worth noticing. Starting at number 10, Desktop Survivors 98 turns the bullet heaven into a fake old computer problem. Windows, icons, and tiny desktop clutter become the arena, which gives the run a joke you can read instantly. I have it lower because the novelty is doing a lot of the work. Still, it earns a spot because it understands that a small roguelike can win by committing hard to one visual bit. The desktop frame also gives the edit visible buttons, windows, and cursor-like movement instead of another anonymous arena. Number 9 is Rogue Labyrinth, an action roguelite about fighting through an absurd tournament maze. What helps it stand out is the crowd-pleasing shape, room pressure, character upgrades, and a showy contest wrapped around each run. The caveat is that it can look busier than it looks deep. It sits here because the premise is easy to sell, and the best moments look like chaos with a referee. When the rooms throw hazards, bosses, and audience energy together, the maze feels like a game show with weapons. In the number 8 slot, Hellclock brings Brazilian history into a fast-action RPG roguelite. The screen fills with cooldowns, relic choices, and enemies that make positioning matter more than the genre label suggests. I am putting it below the stranger picks because the action RPG structure is familiar, but the setting gives it texture, and the build speed makes it feel stronger than another simple horde clear. The strongest footage is all cooldown timing and enemy pressure, with relic choices turning each cleared room into a faster risk. Taking number 7, Pip My Dice is the kind of dice roguelike that looks harmless until the math starts getting rude. The appeal is in upgrading faces, chasing payouts, and watching one tiny die become the whole plan. It is niche, and a viewer wanting action may bounce off immediately. It belongs here because the decision space is clean, readable, and weirdly satisfying for anyone who liked Balatro-style escalation. The best turns are visible in the dice tray itself, where one upgraded face can change the value of the whole build. Right at number 6, Into the Restless Ruins turns deck building into dungeon construction. You place room cards, create the path, then have to survive the layout you just designed. That gives every run a funny kind of accountability. If the dungeon is awkward, that is partly your fault. I place it in the middle because the idea is clever and visible, even if the combat side is not as instantly explosive as the top picks. The hook is visual as well as mechanical. Cards become dungeon rooms, and the dungeon becomes the problem you built for yourself. Number 5 is Knights in Tight Spaces, a tactical deck builder where position matters as much as the card you play. You are not just choosing attacks, you are shoving enemies into bad squares, controlling lanes, and trying to look clever in rooms that keep shrinking around you. It is less surprising if you already played fights in tight spaces. Even so, the medieval angle and board pressure make it one of the cleaner strategy picks here. The best footage is all board geometry, shields, pushes, weapon ranges, and enemies getting parked exactly where they should not be. In 4th, Ball Pit has one of the most immediately readable hooks of 2025. It smashes brick breaking, base building, and roguelite upgrades into a loop where every shot can turn the screen into a pinball disaster. The risk is that it may look sillier than it is. I have it this high because the footage communicates the idea in seconds, and the upgrades give the chaos a real direction. The base layer helps too, because town upgrades give the bouncing ball chaos a reason to continue after each failed run. The number 3 spot goes to StarVaders, a deck-building tactics game about stopping alien waves on a grid. It works because every card has spatial consequences. Moving, blocking, blasting, and setting up future turns all share the same tiny battlefield. The caveat is that it asks for more planning than the cute look implies. It ranks this high because it makes deck building visible, not just numerical. That visible grid is important because the viewer can understand a clever card before the damage numbers even resolve. The menu, resource pressure, and run pacing also give the viewer concrete decisions to follow between big scoring turns. Runner-up at number 2. Blueprints is the oddest fit here, but also one of the best. It is a run-based puzzle mansion where drafting rooms changes the building, the route, and the mystery. The concrete hook is brilliant. Every door can become a choice about layout, resources, and information. It is slower than most roguelikes, which will lose some people. I rank it this high because it proves a run can be tense without combat. The mansion map gives the edit constant proof of the idea. Floor plans, locked doors, drafted rooms, and routes that almost work. And at number 1, CloverPit gets the top spot because it is the 2025 roguelike I would expect the most people to underestimate. The slot machine, debt counter, and grimy little booth create instant pressure. Then the run becomes a fight over symbols, multipliers, and whether one more pull saves you or buries you. It is narrow by design. That focus is exactly why it wins. The whole game is one bad decision machine. The booth, the debt meter, and the slot reels give every decision a clear object on screen, which helps the tension land. That is the list. 2025 was packed with roguelikes that found new angles in cards, dice, rooms, crowds, and pure screen chaos. Like the video, comment with the one I missed, and subscribe because it helps the channel keep digging past the obvious releases.